Nestling in the heartland of West Africa, northern Ghana is a world apart from its southern counterpart. Drier than the south, it has historically been the poorest and most barren region of the country. Successive governments have failed to invest in the area, and it was with this in mind that the Presentation Brothers went to Ghana in 1968. They settled in the remote northern town of Navrongo and embarked on what is now over 40 years of education.
The main ethos of the Presentation Brothers is very much concentrated on education and also empowering young African men who wish to join us on mission, taking children from where they are to another level, taking them through the education system in a very wholesome and holistic approach to education, and hopefully then moving on to tertiary education, where eventually they will be empowered so too that they can empower others in their communities.
The Presentation Brothers have built Presentation Junior High in a remote area of the Upper East region of Ghana. The school has expanded year on year and now caters for 330 students. The current principal is Brother Bernard Gaziri.
Well, as a Presentation Brother, we teach not as a profession but as a vocation. We believe that we are called to teach and to give quality education to these people so that their future will be better than some of us.
Independent. When were we independent? 1957, very good. Yes, they brought variety of crops such as coffee, tea, and other fruits that we didn't know of. We couldn't read and we could not write. We couldn't read and we could not write. And how did they bring formal education? How did this all start?
Young people, they appreciate being in a school that is organized and run by brothers, and they respond very, very well to that. They love to be taught by teachers who are present and who are disciplined and who respect them for the young people they are. So yes, they enjoy being in school. I have often asked them that question.
Today we want to look at what we call linear equation.
From linear equations to French vocabulary, these children were being educated to the same high standard as any of their European counterparts. However, here in the school, there is a price to pay. Some children walk up to 8 miles to come to school, and when they return home, they have an evening of chores and farming ahead of them.
I'm happy because there are some people who go to school and some are not going. And if you sit home, you can't. If you sit home without going to school, you can't be anybody in future. So that's why I like going to school.
Oh, they love it. Our children just love it. They love it. Especially as, you know, we have so many programs. Our school is a unique school, you know. If you look at the other schools in the villages, you wouldn't particularly see, or you know, what you see in our school. For example, the feeding program that we have, and thanks to our benefactors in Bray, in Cork, and all the places, who help us to get food and give them lunch.
The aim of the brothers is to provide meals for the pupils at school. However, there is currently only funding to feed the children 3 days a week, and this means that some of the children who don't eat at school go hungry.
So some of the children come to school empty stomachs. They wouldn't get breakfast. So when they come, when it's about 12 to 1, you see them sleeping in class. So what will keep them awake is for them to have something to eat. So when they eat, they become activated.
JSS Logre is unusual in the region for the number of women that attend the school.
If you invest in the education of a girl child, if eventually she will marry and go somewhere else. Okay, so our people prefer to invest in the education of the boy, because the boy will stay at home, you see. But in recent time, there have been an advocate of educating the girl child.
The brothers' success in encouraging young women into education is one of the areas that the Presentation Brothers are very proud of.
If you educate a man, you educate a family. And if you educate a woman, you educate a whole nation. And we have believed that education is the only way we can let children be in control of their future. So if we can get the females well educated, we in fact, it will be 80% of our success.
Vivian is 15. Both her parents have died in the last 2 years, and she's left to look after her grandmother and younger brother, and yet she hopes to finish school and become a doctor.
I like to go to school because when I go to school, I always hear more stories in school. And I would like to be in school because school is more important. Because the teachers in the school is the way they even teach us is very important. Any subject they teach us, we always understand better than most schools in this village.
They have done a lot for me. In fact, when I was in JSS, in Presentation Junior High School, every day they prepare meals for us. We eat and we learn very hard. It was very good school because all candidates who completed that school performed very well. They had good grades and then they got schools to attend.
Emmanuel Bombandi was educated in an associated school of the Presentation Brothers, and he now heads one of the biggest peace-building organisations in Africa and lives in the capital, Accra.
The brothers made a deliberate effort to understand and discover the cultural context in which they come to work. What they do was not just to come into the class and teach, but to understand at first hand who were they teaching, what cultural attributes, what was the indigenous knowledge in terms of our, if you'd call it, cultural wisdom that is expressed through proverbs, through our language, through our liturgy. Why do we do the things that we do? And so the brothers then would be innovative with this background information to then add on to what they have been trained to do, because all of them are professional teachers. But the brothers made us to understand that we are required to be the leaders in our own community where we are a developing world and where we are most needed. And so as I speak to you, I could have chosen to live anywhere in the world because of the work that I do. But I see today and understand at first hand that being at home, working across the West Africa sub-region, that is exactly what the brothers wanted me to do.
It's difficult to believe that these children can overcome such hardships and achieve their goals in the face of such overwhelming obstacles. And yet this determination is something that the brothers see and encourage every day.
The only way we can change Ghana, or one of the only ways we can change Ghana, is through education. It's the real changer, if you could look at it like that. So we believe that Rice's vision of holistic education is the way forward in any country, but especially in a developing country.
I must go, Jesus, anywhere, no matter the roughness of the road. I must go.
The Ghanaian brothers are very important to the life and development of the province here. because what we are trying to do is trying to empower these young Ghanaians, to train them, to develop them, so that they can take their place here in their community with our support. But it be very much our Ghanaian brothers at the forefront, because it is their country, it is their culture. We're not here to dictate to who they are, but we are here to support them.
At the age of 11, I was still in the home, and this man asked me to go to school. So as I grew up, I got to know that this man who sent me to school was a religious brother. Something began to stay in me. What do I do with my life? So after college, I was seriously thinking about, maybe having the opportunity to also help some other children, to go to school.
I became a presentation brother because I wanted to make a difference to the people living in this area through education, which is our main charism.
I enjoy teaching, as a teacher, it gives me joy that I should be able to help somebody to combine words or letters and spell his or her name. It gives me joy.
Our long-term plan is that each brother would be highly qualified and would be well equipped to teach in our schools and to give that sense of leadership in administration and leadership in the subjects. So they would be really highly equipped to keep up with the changing world. And they would be role models, the young brothers. So the young people would look at them and say, this young man has something to offer.
Our job now is to Ghanaianize as rapidly as possible and let them take over their positions and so on. We're challenged to do that. These young men get a good education from the Presentation Brothers. I think they'll make excellent Presentation Brothers, and they will be model teachers for the rest of the teaching profession. And I think they will do a lot of good.
So are the Presentation Brothers solely about education?
Well, yes, they are about education, but education in its broadest sense possible. Okay, the Presentation Brothers, while in education, they would also be encouraging people to take responsibility for health education and development work on the widest sense possible. I mean, when the early brothers came to Ghana, they just didn't confine themselves to the classroom.
In my time here, the project I've got most satisfaction out is giving the people a borehole. It's the big pipe going right deep down, up to 60 yards, down into the earth. And then with a hand pump, you're able to bring up the water. So I've been responsible for about 20 boreholes in northern Ghana. And when you give the people a borehole, you eliminate many of the waterborne diseases. And the joy and satisfaction, especially for the women folk, who often have to walk maybe up to 9 or 10 miles to get water.
Brother Joe Galisa's influence has also spread to Nakolo, a remote town near the border with Burkina Faso.
Here we're in the village of Nakolo, and behind me here is the health clinic constructed by the Presentation Brothers, and I think we've brought a great service to the people. This area is very isolated. Well, what's very important for the people, they're a long distance away from another hospital, so we have a midwife here, and since we have established the clinic here, many mothers' lives have been saved, and the children have been delivered now. If they had to wait to go into Navrango and they have no transport, the mother could have died on the way. So I see it, that is the greatest contribution we have made, having a midwife here to help a mother to deliver.
Oh, the health clinic has been a very important tool in developing the people of this area. In the first place, we recognize Brother Joe as a surrogate mother for the village. We've got some health workers who help to improve the health standards of the people. So they go around the houses, from house to house, educating the people on environmental cleanliness and symptoms for certain diseases like malaria, diarrhea, and other things, which they should report to the clinic for treatment.
In the culture here, when I get sick or something, they feel that I have broken some taboo. I have offended the ancestors in some way and they're punishing me. So with charts, and we try to teach the people cause and effect. If I do this, I'm going to get this disease. If I expose my food to the flies and so on like that, and bad hygiene, I'm going to get sick. So that's the message we have tried to get across.
Not far from Nakolo is St. John Bosco's Training College in Navrongo, and this was the original base of the Presentation Brothers in Ghana in 1968. Mary and Sarah came to Ghana through the Presentation Brothers volunteer programme. They live and teach here in the college. Both have stayed longer than their initial commitment.
I decided to come to Ghana because I'd always been interested in travelling, you know, and the Presentation Brothers, they offer a really good programme to come over, you know. They're involved in St. John Bosco's and they're involved in the community for years. So when I saw the advertisement, I thought, you know, sure, I'll give it a go, because it was a great way to experience the culture and be integrated into a community.
I wanted to come to Ghana, to come to Africa. I wanted to experience it and teach in Africa. And the Presentation Brothers offer a great program where they place you in a teacher training college where I get to teach teachers, and I also get to teach in local schools. So for me, it was an opportunity to teach abroad and then also experience Ghana and African culture.
They are really doing a great job. Their work as teachers on this campus, and then their services in the community and even outside the community. They have organized some kids on campus who are not going to school, and they take care of them. They teach them the formal education, give them the formal education with the sense that they will be integrated into the mainstream. So I think their services are very, very appreciated.
As a Presentation Brother volunteer, it's very rewarding. You are appreciated for coming, for working, and we do work very hard. And with the brothers, we're involved in a lot of other projects. We're involved in a baby's home that is not far from here, and working with other schools and the youth in Navrongo, where we are.
The Sirigu Babies Home is located 1 hour north of St. John Bosco's. The Babies Home provides shelter for orphaned or abandoned children from birth to 3 years. The Presentation Brothers have been providing financial assistance in recent years.
The Presentation Brothers, they have been helping. They have been coming here to visit the babies, the home. And from time to time, they offer gifts, food, soap, and all the rest for the children. They also bring the volunteers to this home.
The Babies Home was introduced to us by one of the brothers, Brother Edwin, who has over the years supported the home. And he brought us to the home there where we saw that the children needed, and the sisters that look after them needed, some financial support. So for the last 6 months we have worked with 4 other tutors from St. John Bosco's, and we are setting up a charity at the moment to hopefully have a regular source of finance for the home, so the sisters do not have to worry from day to day how they will feed the babies. So the brothers introduced us to that, and it's very rewarding, and we are glad to be part of hopefully improving the lives of the small babies in Sirigu.
They are showing interest and they have a compassion for the children. I believe that in the future they will still show that kind of compassion on the children we are taking care of.
I thought I'd come out here to help people, and yeah, okay, I'm doing that and I'm, you know, giving a lot, but you know what I'm giving, I'm getting back tenfold.
you know, it's very rewarding to come here.
From volunteers to teachers to novices, the Presentation Brothers' outreach is ever increasing in northern Ghana. But are they making a difference?
They have been able to put up classroom for us, and even a toilet, and computers, and even books in our library. So we are very grateful. They are doing very great work for us.
To me, I didn't know exactly what I was going to do in life. But they keep on asking me, what do you want to be to do, or what do you want to be in future? It was a very strange question to me because I was just going to school, I have no idea about what you're going to be in future.
Oh, I think there's a great difference we have made within a short time. And I believe in the next 10 years, if it continues with support we are getting and with the quality education we are delivering, surely there will be fast improvement in the lives of the people.
Oh, I have no doubt the Presentation Brothers make a difference. And if we didn't, I wouldn't be spending my life here. I can see that in so many ways and so many areas. And I often think if the Presentation Brothers were to withdraw or not to be here, I think the people, it would be a very sad day, really. And that's why we want to make sure that there will always be a presence of Presentation Brothers here.
Be